Hey guys, so I'll be introducing you to this device which can predict hypotension, which will occur after spinal anesthesia in the pre-operative period itself. Yes, you heard me right. This device, pupillometry, which is a non-invasive way to predict the hypotension which will occur after spinal anesthesia in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus undergoing any lower limb or lower abdominal surgeries. You use this device and you can predict that the patient will be having spinal induced hypotension, so that you can be cautious that you have to treat the spinal induced hypertension in such patients. So this is the device which I have shown in the figure. So what they did was, it was a prospective observational study. 120 patients were studied with type 2 diabetes mellitus ASA 1 to 3. They were undergoing lower limb or lower abdominal surgeries under spinal anesthesia, and all the patients received spinal anesthesia. The pupillary diameter was measured using this pupillometry before the spinal anesthesia, and as an outcome they got that it was able to detect the spinal induced hypertension, and the spinal induced hypertension was defined as more than 20% drop in MAP from baseline or MAP less than 65 mmHg within 20 minutes after spinal anesthesia. So what is this device? Pupillometry. Pupillometry is an objective method to measure the pupil size in using a device called pupillometer. So you will be seeing the iris, and then you will be seeing the pupil, the upper edge and the lower edge. It will be calculated. So what are the advantages of pupillometry? It is non-invasive, it is quick and easy, it is reproducible, and it reflects the autonomic nervous system activity. That's why we are using it in type 2 diabetes mellitus patient if they have any autonomic instability or not. So the pupils were significantly larger in patients who developed hypotension after spinal anesthesia. The baseline pupillary diameter was 5.82 plus or minus 0.66 mm in those patients who developed hypotension. So this was a significant correlation between the baseline pupil size and the degree of the MAP reduction. Like how much the size of the pupil was there, that much reduction of MAP was there present in the patients. So patients in the highest pupil diameter quartile, if you are dividing all the patients into 1, 2, 3, 4, the patients the highest pupil diameter, that is quartile 4, had a much higher incidence of hypotension. Basically, if the pupil size is more, then the patient will be having more hypotension after spinal anesthesia. That is because the autonomic instability is more in such patients. That's why they are having dilated pupils. So they will be having more spinal induced hypotension. As simple as that. So the incidence of hypotension in the highest quartile was around 76.7%, whereas in the Q1, that is the patients with least pupil diameter, it was only 23.3%. So as a result, the baseline pupil diameter was an independent predictor of hypotension on multivariate analysis also, with an odds ratio of 2.85. So we are keeping a cutoff of 5.45 mm. So a baseline pupil diameter more than 5.45 mm predict the hypotension with 78% sensitivity and 75% specificity. What is the clinical implication? It is a non-invasive test. So in the preoperative time, using the pupillometry in the diabetic patients who are at high risk of hypotension, you can easily predict whether the patient will be having spinal induced hypotension or not. So the high-risk patients can benefit from close hemodynamic monitoring and proactive management. We can prepare the OT accordingly. Also, it is very simple, quick and cost-effective tool for routine pre-anesthetic assessment. So why don't you add this pupillometry in all the patients with diabetes mellitus or any other autonomic instability disease in which you can predict the spinal induced hypotension in the PAC clinic itself. So next time, measure the size of the pupil and predict if the patient will be getting spinal induced hypotension if the pupil baseline pupil diameter is more than 5.45 mm. Thank you.